Hey folks, Mike and McGee here. As you see, I'm at the potato field on the hillside. That's where I'm at. And it's time to plow for corn. That's the main reason I'm here. But it rained for 3 weeks and I couldn't get into my potatoes to work them up. And as you see, it looks more like a cornfield, even though I haven't even planted the cornfield yet. This is corn that's coming up from the corn we missed when we picked. It all was broken down and it was a mess. We picked the best we could and we did very well, but we still got corn coming up just here and there and everywhere. Pretty wild. It amazes me how you can have this volunteer stuff come up and it be so vigorous. But if I had come out and planted corn early enough to be this tall now, it would be yellow. It would not look good. It would be unhealthy. I don't understand it. If you know, drop down in the comments and say, McGee, it's simple, blank, blank, blank. I mean, if that's the case, why don't we plant our corn in January? Nature is odd. But anyway, I've got this going on. My clover looks pretty good in between the rows. Somebody just asked me yesterday what the purpose of having it there was. The purpose is it creates nitrogen and I want to plant corn there, and that's my fertilizer. So being that I couldn't get out here for 3 weeks to work this potato ground up, I do have some weed problems. But since I can get in between here, have you ever heard of working up a potato field with a turning plow? I've never heard of anybody cultivating with a turning plow, but that's what I'm going to be doing today. I've already hit one row here just to see how it would do. You say, McGee, I see clearly you went around the standing corn. You should have just plowed it under. It's technically a weed. Yes, it is. And if it was just one or two, I probably would. But I think there's enough corn here for a barrel of silage is what I believe. So I can take these quote unquote weeds and turn them into epic beef feed. So that's why I kind of went around them. Is it going to cause me issues? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not, but we'll see. It's time for me to get to work. I'm going to plow each of these landings downhill, but against the potatoes, I may plow back uphill to try to manage some of these weeds. We'll see. Let's get in here and do it and see what happens. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, I have shown you in time lapse what's going on, and you probably can tell it ain't going real easy. It's going fast because I've got it on time lapse, but it's not going as quickly as I would have hoped because the big weeds that came into the potatoes. So I'm having to get off and pull them by hand. I don't want to do that, but I have to. I could just stay on the tractor, plow, and say I did my job, but then I'd go home feeling embarrassed because I've still got cucumber and ragweeds coming up in there. So I've pulled them and I put them in the furrow where I'd plow them under. I think it's going to be okay. The corn standing is probably an irritation for some of y'all because technically they're a weed. And 99% of the time, I would agree with you. I'd get rid of them. I'm not that guy that says, oh, volunteer. But I see a barrel of silage and I'd kind of like to have it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to shade out my corn I plant. I don't know. We're going to find out. But I've been showing you all this on time lapse. I'm going to do one section in real time just so you can see how long it actually takes. My first shot is to plow up against the potatoes this way. I really kind of like that. It's putting about 5-6 inches of dirt over top of the weeds and healing those potatoes. I won't have to touch them again, I don't think, till digging time. And then I turn around and I do the rest going down the hill. I've pretty much got all the cucumber rows done. Now I've got some kind of a foxgrass or something, and it is not as dire. It's not as physically damaging if I leave it, but I'm not going to try to leave it. I'm going to try to plow it. I think it's going to plow okay because it bends a lot easier and goes under the dirt. So let's do it in real time. I'll show you that right quick. We'll get on with it. It's starting to heat up and I want to get done. pretty wide across there. That's probably 20 feet. So there's plenty of room for 2 rows of corn in there. I could probably put 3 or 4, but I'll probably do 2 rows of corn. There's a possibility you might be thinking the corn's gonna shade out the potatoes, but the truth is, by the time this corn gets up that high, the potatoes are gonna be made. And if we play our cards right, we might get to dig the potatoes in the shade. That would be sweet. So anyway, that's how it's done. I didn't look to see how many minutes that took, but it took a little while, but I didn't have to get off, and it plowed that grass under well. So I'm happy. I'm gonna get on down through here. I'm gonna knock out the rest of this field, and I'm gonna try to make it look funner than it is. Let's do it. All right, folks, I got it knocked out. Took a little bit longer than I wanted, but I'm happy with my result. Everything from row to row in between will be tilled with the tiller, the tractor tiller, and we'll plant corn. So anything in between there that's sticking up is toast anyway. It's not gonna make it. So the weeds that are right in the potato row, have a chance of doing something, but the potatoes are gonna make. At this point, I've got them laid by. They're good to go. I was able to take that dirt and just lay it right in beside the potatoes on both sides, probably 6 inches or thereabouts. And I was able to just almost paint that edge by using my speed and my depth. And I just watched, and I mean, it just curled around. The weeds just kind of curled under, went right under the grass. I'm pretty happy, to be honest with you, very happy. I don't like that it got away from me in a way because of all that rain and busyness and everything, but I'm tickled pink that I'm set up like this where I can get in with a tractor and do damage. So that's just the way it is sometimes, folks. You just got to do what you got to do. Glad I got it done. Glad you went along with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. But that's all I got for you today. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.